Warning, spoilers for Logan are ahead. Logan hit theaters this past weekend and is booming at the box office. The film wasn't shy about including Easter eggs, and we've compiled a list of 16 that you may have missed. Let's start you off with Dark Phoenix. The Dark Phoenix appeared often during the flip-through comic Marvel uses at the beginning of each movie. Is it a coincidence that the next X-Men film is centered around the Dark Phoenix saga? Maybe, but it makes sense. There is a lot of history at Alkali Lake in the X-Men franchise. This is where Colonel William Stryker turned the Wolverine into Weapon X. Donald Pierce and his Reavers have ties to the same company that created Wolverine. In the movie, Logan is seen as a limo driver chauffeuring people to the cemetery. This specific cemetery has popped up before in the comics. Though no specific characters were laid to rest here, it has appeared in titles such as Fantastic Four and Deadpool too soon. There is also a grave that reads Peters behind Logan. This could be a tribute to Evan Peters, who has instantly became a fan favorite for his role of Quicksilver. When Donald Pierce first meets Logan's character in the back of a limo, he compares the Wolverine to a tiger or Freddy Krueger. Fan fiction pits these two together often online. You might have missed him, but MMA fighter Krzysztof Shashinsky will be remembered as the man who lost his head during the first fight scene featuring X-23. Early in the movie, Logan and Xavier reminisce about how they first met in the original X-Men movie. Xavier described how he found Logan cage fighting. He then stated, "We took you in and gave you a family." In another reference to the first X-Men, Laura and Gabriela Lopez are hiding at the Liberty Motor Motel. When he tries to tell Logan where they are, the two make reference to the climax of X-Men where the X-Men battle at the real Statue of Liberty. One of the more obvious Easter eggs is the tank that Caliban and Logan put Professor X in to keep his powers in check. The tank looks similar to the Cerebro room back at the X-Men mansion. One scene in the tank also features Xavier rambling on in a hilarious product placement for Taco Bell. While the Xavier, Logan, and X-23 are fleeing, there is a news report on the radio that relates to what was happening in the film to an attack that happened in Westchester, which resulted in deaths of some of the X-Men team. In the Old Man Logan comics, however, it was Logan that was tricked into killing his fellow X-Men by Mysterio. There is a parallel between when Donald Pierce hints that Caliban's mutant tracking abilities were once used to hunt down the few mutants. Caliban's story in Logan mimics his story in the comics where he was transformed by Apocalypse into the Horseman of Death. After Charles and Logan scuffle in the restroom, Logan finds a few comic books that remind him of his past with the X-Men. On his way out of the rest stop, he steals a few cigars for the road, which are a big part of Wolverine in the comics. The comics Logan picks up in the film are Uncanny X-Men number 117 and 132. In Uncanny X-Men number 117, Xavier tells his tale of how he first dedicated his life to the mutant-human relations, and within the cover number 132 is an epic battle between the Wolverine and Donald Pierce. In the video that the nurse Gabriella took, there are a number of alkali transigen case files that flash on the screen. One of the files revealed that DNA was taken, probably stolen, from Christopher Bradley, a mutant who had electrical powers. Christopher Bradley also made an appearance in X-Men Origins Wolverine as part of Team X. The mobile video also contained footage of Laura cutting her arms just to show off her amazing healing ability. This was a moment that also took place in her origin story in the comics. In the film, Laura isn't the only test subject that was used in Rice's experiments. There are a few other children that are named. First, there is Bobby, who possesses the DNA of Iceman or Sunspot. Second is Richter, who possesses the power to create earthquakes. During the final battle, another mutant named Joey is revealed. It is very possible that this character could be Jean Grey's telekinetic nephew, Joey Bailey. During a brief period where the group relaxes, Charles and Laura are watching an old western called Shane. The story of Shane mirrors the film Logan. In Shane, an old gunfighter has one last hurrah in his old age. The word Shane says to a little boy resonates with Laura, who quotes the words for Logan during the film's final scenes. "A man has to be what he is, Joey. Can't break the mold. I tried it and it didn't work for me. Joey, there's no living with a killing. There's no going back from one. Right or wrong, it's a brand. A brand sticks. There's no going back. Now you run on home to your mother and tell her everything's alright, and there aren't any more guns in the valley." If there are any Easter eggs we missed, let us know in the comments.